Hello everyone, my name is Moonshine and I'm the host of today's AMA with Turbo Battle Arena, and we have Matt here with us. So Matt, can you kindly introduce yourself and the team behind TBA?
Sure thing. So I'm Matt. My handle is Zodar1963. I'm the Turbo Battle Arena Chief Technology Officer and Business Manager. So we have a Web 2, Web 3 game, which we have been working on for a couple of years now, and we're just getting ready to launch the token for the game. It will go live on February 25th. We've had a very diverse team of folks working on the project. Our COO is Max Hunt, and he is in Australia. Our Chief Gaming Officer is Clay. He's not on today. Max isn't going to be able to be on also. It's kind of late over there in Australia right now. Our development team has been primarily in Europe and the Middle East team, KA Labs. They helped develop the game, and we're really excited. We've had the game in beta for a while, and the game is actually downloadable and playable right now in the Microsoft Store for PC. So we're really excited to get it out and get it going. We have like one more build that we need to do to get a few things put in place to make it like a MVP game so folks can play it. They can win and earn, and we can talk a little bit more about that later.
Nice, thank you so much for the intro. So I'm really curious to know how you guys started the project. Like, what moved you guys to start a gaming project and not any other type of utility project? Why was it gaming, the gaming sector?
Sure thing. So a lot of us, most of us, pretty much were all gamers at heart and grew up playing games as kids, teenagers, and even into adulthood. And when we looked at what was going on in Web 2 gaming and some of the things that were happening with it, we just kind of wanted to have a game that kind of reminded us of some of the games we really enjoyed as we were growing up. So we came up with the idea of doing this 2D platformer scrolling game, similar to a lot of them that some of us are familiar with, like Mario, Contra, some of those kinds of things. And we also, realized that, hey, folks really work hard when they're playing these games. They spend a lot of money to go and earn weapons and skins and things like that. And there's just not really any way for them to trade with their fellow players. The communities can kind of be a little bit closed somewhat. I know that there's a lot of people that will go all out to get a certain weapon or certain skins for some games. And maybe at some point they'd like to trade those or do something with it. And you can't do that with Web 2. So we kind of integrated the Web 3 part of it into it to kind of make it so that you could actually own your assets, you could trade them and do things with them. But along with that, we can talk about being able to be creative also, because we want our players and followers to be creative also, possibly to create their own characters, which will be an NFT, or new weapons, or maybe even their own maps for the game itself, which they'll be able to trade, use for their own arenas, things like that. So there's a lot of potential for the game in the future, and we're excited about it.
Nice. Now, about the Web3 aspect of it, which is something that is, happening already, and we have a lot of games right now. So how are you guys going to merge like the Web3 experience into the game and make it accessible or make the user experience easy for the game players?
Sure. So we want to make the game very similar to some of the games that are out there right now. So, like some of the Web 2, Web 3 games, we're using an in game currency, which is right now it's eggs. And in order to purchase the eggs, you'll need to either use stable coins, which would be like through a crypto wallet, or we'll make it so you can also use like a debit or credit card. You don't have to actually use a token to buy the eggs because the eggs will be a fixed cost, fixed price. and it just doesn't make any sense to be using a token to buy the in-game currency with all the fluctuation possible with that token itself. So the eggs will be used for like playing the battle royale games. You can when you go into the game, you'll see that if you want to do battle royale, you can create a game room for folks to come in and play, and you can invite friends or whatever. And when you do that, you can make a requirement to enter that game room that you have to put up 10 eggs, however many eggs you want, 10, 20, 100, 1, whatever. And when folks come in and play, they will put those eggs up. And the folks that like the top 5 players or top 3, depending upon how many people are actually playing and how many eggs are put into the room, will share that prize pool. So let's say that you have 10 players come into a room to play. You can choose the number of rounds you want. You could play 1 round, you could play 10 rounds. And that's kind of why we've made it like it's tournament ready. So let's say you put in 10 eggs, 10 players, that's 100 eggs, 10 players, and say the top 3 will split half of those eggs. So there's 50 eggs to split. So let's say the number 1 guy, he gets 30 eggs. The number 2 guy gets 20 eggs. The number 3 guy just gets like a return of what he put in, 10. And the remaining eggs will go into our treasury to be used for rewards, and they'll also be used to purchase back the token, the TBA token, to help give it more value as things move along. And it also generates revenue for the game itself, so we can continue developing and doing things of that nature. But we'll also have incentives for using the token and staking the token, because we really would like for the community and players to help determine. So there's some governance that's available with the token as well, that you'll be able to help decide and vote on what is the new features that you want in the game coming up in the next release. So by staking the token, having the token, you'll be like kind of like you're an owner in the game itself, that you can actually have rights and responsibilities to help determine the things that you want to see as a player. So that's kind of a unique thing also, because, a lot of these Web 2 game developers, maybe they'll listen to you some, but it's really just kind of what they want to do and how they want to do it. But this will actually give you a voice in the game as well. But at the same time, we don't want to restrict Web 2 folks from coming in and playing as well. So there'll be free to play. You don't have to put eggs up to play the game. So you could just have friendly, free tournaments and not worry about doing that. So you can go after you've earned a certain amount of eggs, you can go and cash them out for either stable coins or something else on the Web 3 side of things as well. So there's lots of possibilities and ways that you can do things. And the characters also, we offer for the free to play game, you'll get a generic character. But for the folks that want to have their own NFT characters, you'll be able to get an NFT character that you'll be able to use in the game. And we'll be introducing different NFT characters as things go along as well. And we were also testing a NFT character creator tool where you could create your own characters. And we had a lot of funny characters that were created while we were doing some testing with that. But then you'll be able to create a character and you'll be able to sell that to your friends. It may be a special character. So we want to really unleash the creativity also of our community, of our players, and of our follows. So you could create characters, you'll be able to create weapons, and possibly even create maps for the game to play in. We've not had a test of that yet, but we would like to do that. So like gaming guilds, gaming communities could have their own arenas, kind of like, a sports team or something like that, that has their own arena. And they'll invite folks to come play. You could have like a season of TBA with all these gaming guilds playing against each other. There's just all kinds of fun in the future. I know I'm talking a lot.
No, no, no. I really appreciate you giving us all the details and exciting things about the game. Really, really appreciate that. And based on what you have just explained, a question I would like to ask is, from the way you have explained what TBA is about, is like a skill-based win-to-end kind of game. So how exactly are you going to prevent the pay to win mechanics that will creep in through NFTs or upgrades?
Ask that last part of that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was saying, how exactly do you prevent pay to earn mechanics from creeping in through the NFTs or the upgrades that will happen within the game?
Oh, you mean like a security type of thing to prevent something from, uh, like a malware or
No,
something
no,
getting into the game?
no. What I'm trying to ask is, okay, so with these upgrades or NFTs, it helps the game player have like a superior during the game, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So somebody might have an advantage because they've got a better weapon or tool or something like that, right?
I know we're trying to see that, okay, it's a skill based game, right? When a game player
Right.
is better. So now, but some certain game players would prefer to just like pay with the token and get upgrades and just
I see
keep.
what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Instead of making it a pay to win where people have an advantage by going and buying a better weapon or something of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when we were doing our beta testing, we saw some things like that. Because at first we had some weapons which were one shot, one kill type of weapon. And we decided, yeah, well, that didn't work so well. So we made it to where, it would take like a lower percentage of your health rather than like a one shot to kill. Um, so there's ways that you can do those types of things by making adjustments to the game and things like that. There also be like matchmaking services as well, so that when you go into a room or something, you'll make sure that you have the competitive skills to play against those folks. But just like you said, we don't want it to be that type of thing where somebody will have a large advantage because of the certain weapon. So I think that we'll be able to take care of those things. We've seen that type of stuff in beta testing in the past, and trying to make the weapons so that they're similar. They'll just be like a different in nature and things like that. It just depends upon how you want to do things. I've seen players that have done really well with the close in weapons, and then there's some folks that did better with the more powerful weapons. Like we had a rocket launcher, and that would take like 90% of your health. And but the folks that really did well kind of had the skills to use both and know how to use both and things like that. So I think that as things progress, that we'll be able to make easy adjustments to the weapons if we need to keep those type of things from happening. We just want it to be fun more than anything else. So
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Thank you so much for the fact that you also acknowledge this. And I think something you guys can do about these upgrades or abilities, it shouldn't just be earned. It can also, more of it can be earned through like abilities, like probably when you unlock a winning tournament or complete challenge. That is when you can earn these certain NFTs. Like not all the NFTs should be earned through, paying for it, something like that. I think that would also work.
right, and we've had games where we could like limit the type of weapons that were available. So like when we were doing some beta testing, we could probably create a room where you could only play with like a shotgun only or a pistol only or a melee weapon or something like that. So you could
Yeah,
set up a room to where, you can't have this type of weapon or something like that as well. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that and make it so that, somebody with the super duper plasma cannon that wipes out everybody won't be able to play, or you may want something like that just for the fun of it too, just to see what it's like. But
yeah. So we definitely don't want to take out all the fun in the game. So I get what you're trying to say. So the next question I have is about the reward sustainability. I want to know where it will come from long term. I know you mentioned something like the treasury. So on the long run, is that treasury going to be circled back into the game, or how is it going to work?
it'll be kind of a twofold type of thing. Um, so the treasury will hold like eggs that we can reward to folks for certain things that they may do, certain quests, number of games they played or something like that. So part of that treasury will be used for that, but part of it will also be used to actually pay for doing upgrades and continue the development of the game as well. So we kind of see that as being able to do both things as at the same time, I guess you'd say.
Nice. So I think at this point, first we've been talking back and forth about the game, which is actually the main infrastructure about your project. But then I also want to talk about the token utility, because it's actually tied to the game. So if I remove, speculation entirely, what real reason does a competitive gamer have to hold TBA token?
Well, one thing that we were talking about is the governance. So folks that actually gamers that actually hold the token, and if they stake it for a certain amount of time or whatever, will be able to participate in governance as far as what types of things do they want to see in the future for the game, what type of upgrades, is there new types of weapons or maps they want to see, things of that nature. So it actually makes the players feel like that they're actually an owner in the game itself. That that by doing that and hanging on to it, they'll be able to participate in that. And then for those folks also, maybe we'll make it so a new character that's coming out or a new set of weapons or a new map or something like that, they'll be able to get a hold of it quicker, or we may actually be able to reward them with some other passes for some special events and things like that as well.
Nice. And also, you guys are going to be having tournaments and obviously reward distributions. Are there any mechanisms that are in place to like reduce the sell pressure after tournaments or these reward distributions?
Ask me that again. I'm sorry. My sound on my phone is not the best.
Oh, it's fine. It's no problem. So I was asking, are there any mechanisms that would be in place to reduce like sell pressure after tournaments or reward distributions?
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is that to play the game, it's not totally dependent upon the actual token itself. So revenue is generated by folks that may be buying or selling NFTs. They're using the token. There may be special ways, special things that discounts you get for the token. But I mean, there will be folks that may want to that have tokens that they're just ready to cash them out and get rid of them. But there will be, we'll continue to have the incentives to keep it. You could buy a discount of eggs using the token. So if you could get 100 eggs for $1, maybe using stable coins or a credit card or debit card, maybe you can get 150 using $1 worth of TBA tokens, depending upon what the value is at that time. Some things like that. But, and then we'll be able to maybe buy back some of those tokens and have in our treasury for rewards later on and things like that. But we're going to do our best to keep the token growing in value as the game goes along. But there will be times also where it's going to be cashed out and sold. That's just the way a lot of the token things work. But it'll probably get to a point at some point where it's got a pretty stable value and things like that. But just like everybody else, we hope that we'll continue to grow in value, especially after we get more and more players brought on and they're playing the game and investing and things like that. And we've got some onboarding of players in the works for once we've got the game launched and going. We have a partnership with Warp Chain Gaming, and they just completed their initial Dex offering this week with EC. and it sold out in like 35 minutes. So they're our game publishing entity. If you want to look them up and find out more about them, they're going to help us get the game published. And we have a relationship with Immutable Play also, that they will help onboard players and gamers. And we also have some relationship with gaming guilds as well, to where we'll be able to start playing with gaming guilds, maybe having tournaments between different gaming guilds, gaming communities as well. And, you know, for those tournaments and things like that, we'll be able to maybe have the folks, it'll take an investment in the tokens and possibly staking for the tournaments as well.
Nice. The fact you also shifted to the partnerships that you guys have currently and plans you guys have to bring in more users. I think the next question I have for you is, um, what you guys are building, is it primarily for crypto users, or you also plan to bring on board traditional game players globally?
Yeah, we want it to be Web 2 and Web 3, like I said. Um, want to be like traditional games. I mean, I play Pokemon Go a lot, and I will spend money in there to buy, like battle passes and things like that. So that's the main reason that when you start the game, you can buy the in-game currency if you want to buy the in-game currency, which is the eggs, and you can use a credit card, debit card, stable coins, or like I said, get more of the eggs for using the TBA token. But we want it to be that you don't have to have the wallet to play. And there's also a free to play mode. You don't have to actually invest any eggs into a game room to play the game. We want it to be fun, and we're looking at possibly, maybe we'll be able to reward folks that play a number of games or some other quest that they may do with some eggs for free. It's kind of like, I know Pokemon Go. You if there's ways that you can get in-game currency for certain things that you do. There may be some things that we can do with that, similar to that, but we don't want it to be only Web 3 for sure. We want it to be Web 2, and we feel like that as Web 2 gamers come in and they learn about, hey, I can trade my weapons, I can trade my skins, I can trade my character, and all the creative things that you can do, that they'll be motivated in maybe to become a Web 3 gamer also, where they get their wallet, they can go out and trade and do things that they were restricted to doing in a Web 2 game. And if you got caught doing those things, then sometimes you'd be banned from the game. So a lot of times they would do that on the black market. So we don't feel that that's right. These folks are investing their hard earned money into playing a game, having fun, and they're getting these assets, and they should own them, and they should be able to trade them if they want to. It doesn't hurt the game. It just makes it funner. It builds a community. And, there's just like, hey, I want to get this and I want to trade it or whatever.
Nice. Thank you so much for walking us through that. So I think another question I wanted to ask is, what KPI matters most to you guys right now? Is it like the token price, tournament participation, retention rate? What are you guys fixed on right now? Or what developments do you guys have coming that you guys are actively working on right now?
Well, I mean, the main thing is we want to get the game launched. We want to launch our token. We've got like one more build that we need to do before the game is playable, where folks can actually come in, they can buy eggs, and they can do things with it. So after that, the main thing will be onboarding players and creating a fun experience and building that community of folks that want to play all the time. Those are the main things that we're working on and we're concerned about. So we feel like that after we launch the token, we start bringing on players, that the token will take care of itself in that respect. We're not going to be, it's not like it's a meme coin, or it's not like it's a play to earn thing where the token value is going to go up and people are going to get tokens just for coming in and playing. It's a skill based type of thing, excuse me, where people will be able to come in, play, and possibly earn some eggs and some currency by winning and having the skills. So it's onboarding the players and getting that community going. And we feel like the token will take care of itself after that.
Great. I really like your positive outlook on things. And I also, from my point of view, I think you guys are pushing up strong. And so I'll definitely be watching to see how far you guys are going to go with the game, especially with the way, crypto is looking right now. Many would, not really have a great perspective towards the project. But from what I see you guys are building and the team and also, the kind of partnerships you guys have lined up, I'm expecting something great too from you guys. So I think at this point, I would like to take, I don't know if you're open to taking some questions from the community. But before we do that, if there's anything you'd like to mention that has not been mentioned through the course of the AMA, you can also mention before we take some questions.
Sure. I can't really think of anything right now. I've tried to talk quickly and fast. So if folks have any other questions they want to ask, if you don't get it answered, you can join our Telegram. Um, as you might imagine, we're getting overwhelmed right now with DMs of folks wanting to market and do things like that. And so if I don't get to your question and I don't get it answered in the next day or two, you know, give me a little bit of time because we're just really, really busy getting ready for our TGE. We've got AMAs going on with other folks as well, especially our launch pads. We'll let you know what our launch pads are. Maybe they can post it somewhere so you can see where they are. But we're launching with, let's see, Ben Starter, Spores, um, and I think there's like 5 or 6 others. We can put a link in so you can see who they all are. So if you decide you want to invest in the token or you want to buy the token, then you'll have that opportunity. But yeah, I can answer a few questions here because I got another AMA coming up in 20 minutes.
Okay, let's make things very quick. So let's have Elsin. Elsin, you can go ahead with your question.
Um, Thank you, Moonshine, for having me on. So, my question is with Web3 gaming often struggling to, balance fun-first gameplay and financial incentives. What specific game design principle is Turbo Battle Arena using to ensure that the core PvP experience remains competitive and skill-based rather than financially paid to win?
Sure thing. So I think the main thing about our game is that it's going to be fun to play, a lot like the 2D scroller games of the past, and playing battle royale. And by having the tournament features, you can have gaming guilds, gaming communities play it. And one thing I forgot to mention is we also have a solo run mode that folks can play and compete against themselves and everybody else that's trying the solo run mode because there will be a weekly leaderboard available. And so folks that play that and for the top folks that finish the solo run mode, so you don't have to have somebody else to play against either. At the end of the week, we'll give them some sort of reward, which could be either some eggs or something like that as well. So the main thing is the game can be played for free if you want to. You can play it with the eggs if you want to, and it's not just being driven that you have to have the token or you have to have the NFT to play the game. It's fun to play, and to win the game, you've got to have skill. When we were doing some beta testing, we actually had some professional players coming in and playing it, and they really, really liked it. And it was obvious that they had the skills to play it because they've played other games like this. But I think that's the main things.
All right, thanks. I really appreciate the insights. It's exciting to see a Web3 title that that is clearly thinking about the long-term competitive balance rather than just short-term hype. Well, I'm just wishing the team success, as you scale through the community ecosystem. That'll be all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elsin. So let's have Ernest. You can go ahead with your question.
Okay. All right, good afternoon. So my question for you is in the if the in-game economy starts overheating, for example, too many tokens being minted or rewards being farmed, what concrete controls do you have to step in? And who decides when those changes happen?
Yeah. So we hadn't really discussed that too much. I think that that's something that we'll be discussing with our warp game shaming partner, because those are definitely things that we need to discuss and work out right now. Is to when we get ready to make the game live and going for sure. But the token itself has a total supply of 1 billion right now. Um, so we'll have to see where we're at and make those decisions, because it still needs to be available and out there for folks as things move along. So we'll have to discuss those and let you guys have the information about that in the future.
Okay, looking forward to getting my answer to that question in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ernest, for throwing in that question. I think that was something very important because of the governance aspect of the project too. So, it gets to a point where the community might want to put an input on what's going on with the project. So I think that's something you guys need to greatly consider. Let's have one more question. Okay, let's have Kelvin Connor. Kelvin Connor, you can
Hey,
go ahead
Kelvin,
with your
what's up?
question. Okay, we don't have Kelvin Connor. So let's have Benova. Benova, you can go ahead with your question. I don't know what's happening. I think Telegram is just messing everyone up.
Can you hear me?
There's
Yeah,
Benova. What's up?
Uh, I'm good, and you? How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Moonshine, for the glorious opportunity. I should call it glorious. Of course, it's glorious. Let me just go straight to my question. Zoda, um, my question is in respect to the game itself.
Hmm.
There are so many crypto games that are springing up, which have been springing up, time from time past, and yours is just coming to the space. What
Right.
we my question is, well, how do you, in your own way, tend to market this game to, crypto users who have been on the space, for a long time, who have seen different games come, go, fail, and the rest of them. How will you market your game to them, and how do you, your sustainability ratio? I mean, how do you intend to sustain the game project for, I don't know if it will be for eternity, but for the time when the project will be live on space. How do you intend to sustain the project with the game together?
Sure thing. So kind of like what we've talked about, I believe that we want it to be a Web 2, Web 3 game. So it's not dependent upon crypto to be a successful and fun game to play. It'll be appealing to Web 2 players as well. They can come in, they can play the game, they can have tournaments too if they want by playing the game. It'll be like an esports type of engine. And there's a possibility that there may be some esports teams that want to play against each other. They want to have a tournament. They may be able to get sponsors. We can even put um, sponsor information in the maps and things like that. The communities can have their own arena also and things like that. So For the Web3 folks, though, the main thing we feel like is like the governance, like we've talked about, the ability to actually have a voice in which direction the game is going in the future to help make it sustainable and fun and playable for folks, and also own assets like characters can be NFTs, weapons can be NFTs, skins can be NFTs that folks can go out and put them on the free market and trade them. I mean, there's lots of markets out there. You know, like Immutable's got a marketplace. We think Warp Games will have a marketplace that folks can trade their assets, and that's fun. Also, you know, maybe we have a special event where you can get this NFT character that's just for like the anniversary of whatever, you know, the first anniversary of TBA or whatever. And then maybe people come into the game, they don't have it, and folks maybe want to try and sell that or trade it for something somebody else has got. So, you know, it's a big community thing for folks to be able to enjoy and have fun and trade and just, you know, it could be very huge for folks. So I think that's the most important thing for the crypto Web3 folks. And it's just not necessarily about the price of things either. It's just that a fun thing that folks in Web2 haven't been able to do except for under the table, you know, black market type of thing. And we'll be able to do it because that's what Web3 is about, is being able to be free to do those types of things that can help build community, make it fun to play, and have a sustainable game.
Okay, does that answer your question, Benova?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Well, maybe I'll go to their Telegram channel to ask the remaining questions. For now,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Musha. I know that there is no time. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for your
Thank
time. And
you.
thank you for answering my question.
Another AM in the next few minutes. So I would like to give him some few minutes to relax before the next one. So with that, Matt, that's all the questions we'll be taking from the community. So do you have any final concluding words before we close down the VC?
No, I really appreciate the AMA. You've got a great community here and great folks that have a lot of good questions. I was really happy to do this, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.